Hello YouTube, this is Shadow Hero 90. I'm essentially giving you a tour of Corning, even though I don't live there. You're basically getting what amounts to a tour of Corning, well, a part of Corning, New York, from a guy who doesn't even live there. My mouse is broken. That's where the old comic book store used to be when I was a kid. Back in the 90s, when things were better. And that is where, that is where the old comic book store used to be 20 years ago. No, wait, no. This is where the old comic book store used to be 20 years ago. Really sad to see it go. I had a lot of good times there. Got a lot of good comic books. Things really were better then. These guys weren't a bunch of sellouts. Or at least they weren't back then. I used to watch The Simpsons every night at 6 o'clock. It was before I realized that The Simpsons actually are an un-American show. And I'm not saying that for any measure of shock value. Stuff like The Simpsons, Family Guy, they are both extremely un-American. Now that I'm looking back, I'm actually wondering why anyone was laughing. To be honest, no one should have been laughing. They were peddling harmful worldviews and harmful, well, not harmful ideologies, but they have, well, The Simpsons and Family Guy have had a lot of toxic and, well, downright messed up episodes. Episodes where the funny main characters that we were supposed to like acted just horribly for Well, basically so they could have a plot. Or basically they violated continuity and neutered certain characters just for being male. Those were good. Well, the 90s. Oh boy, those were good times. They were way better than the way things are now. Evergreen Express. They went. It makes sense that they'd go here after they left Elmira. Their food was delicious, and I really enjoyed it. I could have eaten it every day. Yeah, my parents can't afford that, but they could afford to send me to the school to be tortured every day. And believe me when I say tortured, people complain nowadays about evangelicals. I was stuck sitting right next to one for 6 hours a day. Well, not 6 hours a day, but from 8 till 12. To the point where they let me out of that nightmare factory. That's where the this is where the comic book store used to be. Around here. I really miss it. Those were good days. Times were good back then. Superheroes were revered as opposed to being ridiculed. Like they are nowadays. Superheroes were mainstream, and they were never, well, there were some parodies, to which I really gotta say, superhero parodies are really un-American. basically just a middle finger to our culture as Americans, and not exactly the kind of thing an American would be okay with seeing. And this is where the video comes to an end. This is Shadow Hero 90 signing off. A guy from Elmira, New York, who kind of just gave you a tour through Corning, New York.